Freak Nation, coming up this hour, Joseph Newgarden, two-time Indy 500 winner, two-time IndyCar Series champion. He'll be here in the Freak Nation as we get ready for the Indianapolis 500. He was actually in St. Louis selling some tickets for Worldwide Technology Raceway, which they've got the second race after the Indy 500. It's the go-to for the Freak Nation at WWTR. He'll be joining us this hour. Also, Harrison Burton, Full Speed is up and running on Netflix. The 2024 NASCAR Cup season revisited on Netflix. You can catch it. Harrison Burton's part of that. So we asked a question there, Freak Nation, and it's pretty broad. Alex Palou or Kyle Larson? As I've got snot dribbling down my nose. Who is the better driver? There are so many different parameters that we could install, but just flat out clean from their series, respected series. Who is the better driver? Richard C., what is our Twitter, as the kids call it, X account? Look at this point.
Nobody calls it X. That does not. Nope.
It really doesn't. No one does.
Stop making that a thing. Okay. On the Twitter.com, pick one driver. Kyle Larson, Alex Palou. Right?
And that's all you asked, right?
That's it.
Just pick one driver.
Pick one driver. Period.
Okay.
Not even a question mark. Kyle Larson 62%. Alex Palou 38%. That's at SpeedFreaks on Twitter. Go vote.
Okay.
Wow.
As I said going into the top of the hour, I'm trying to pick Alex Palou, but I continue to have difficulty until I start to break down the actual cars. Car versus car. I'll get to that. Cole Cusimano, what's your take?
My take. If we are isolating this to just the series and discipline, I would be ignorant to not pick Alex Palou. And why I say this is because in this Kansas race for NASCAR, Kyle Larson lapped up to 20th by the end of stage one, and all I was saying to myself is, how is he going to choke this away? Whereas Alex Palou, I find myself saying, how is he going to win this thing? And you look at how he's done, not just this season, but in his career. We mentioned it at the top. 4 wins this season in 5 races. Lowest finish of second. That is absolutely absurd. But he's also a back-to-back champion right now. He's got 3 championships in 5 full-time seasons. There's no way I'm not picking Alex Palou. I'm sorry. But I will say this. I do not think that Alex Palou can go into a sprint car or a NASCAR stock car and do what Kyle Larson could do in those disciplines. So all around, Kyle Larson, but for their specific series, Alex Palou.
Crasher?
I think Cole nailed it. I don't think there's really much else to say in that regard. Alex Palou in tire preservation, Alex Palou in car setup and how he communicates to his crew chief in order to make things better when they need to be made better. Alex Palou is an open wheel genius, and we are watching it play out in front of us, and it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome to watch. But you're right. Could he get into a sprint car? I would love to see it. Honestly, I think of Alex Palou, the little that I know of him, and the very little time that we've actually spent with him, I pick up some signs like Tony Stewart, in which he could get into something else, and it'll take him a little bit, but he'll be a student of that something else sport, and once he masters it, look out. But will he jump into one? No, I don't think so. Will he go to Formula One next year with Cadillac is what people are beginning to talk about. Kind of hope not, but he has how should I phrase this? He has a decently easy clause in his Ganassi contract that will allow him a withdrawal to go to Formula One.
Richie, where do you land on this there? You're over there biding your time. Where do you land on this there, Skippy?
This is actually a lot tougher than people think it is. I think it really is, because if you think about their careers, they're actually kind of similar outside of one thing, which is Alex Palou wins championships, Kyle Larson does not. Kyle
has one.
He has one championship, and Alex Palou is going to win his 4th in 5 seasons, which that's the biggest deciding factor. But other than that, they're fairly similar. Alex Palou has not won on an oval in his career in IndyCar. He has yet to win the biggest race in the sport, the Indianapolis 500. We were just talking about that a little bit ago. Cole, you put it out there, and I thought you hit the nail on the head. You win the Indianapolis 500, and you are enshrined forever. Nobody remembers who won the 2011 IndyCar Series Championship. But you can probably name who won the 2011 Indianapolis 500.
I was just thinking, who was that? Sure. Let's see. No, it wasn't.
Well, we don't need to go there. No, we don't need to go there.
But my basic point is you remember who wins Indianapolis 500. You don't remember who wins championships, right? Or else Sam Hornish Jr. would be a much bigger name in IndyCar than he is. How about that bull crash, huh?
Attaboy.
All right. Actually, Sam Hornish Jr., of course, a guy who crossed over back into NASCAR as well. But going back to Kyle Larson, he has yet to win NASCAR's biggest race, which is the Daytona 500. And so I think the comparisons are like, and Kyle Larson, as I talked about before, is not very good at the super speedway discipline in racing, like Alex Palou on ovals. However, I would go, my pick is Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson has driven an IndyCar. He's driven in Indianapolis Motor Speedway 240 miles an hour and had that damn thing running up front with no power steering, something that is one of the toughest things to do. Only a few guys have done it and done it well. Tony Stewart being one of the few of them. He was the only one who went and finished top 10 in both the 500 and the 600. And we know who the talent that Tony Stewart is. So Kyle Larson is my answer.
How could I forget the 2011 season? Sorry, I had to look it up. And then I'm like, duh. The 2011 season ended on an absolute tragedy. It was Dario Franchitti who was the champion.
So for me, I'm still wavering. And I go back to my self 20 years ago and think, oval? Doesn't need to win on an oval. Ovals. But as I started to study more NASCAR as I got older, and really just because I was forced to, because it was the behemoth, to have 30 NASCAR Cup Series drivers that can get within a second, sometimes 3/4 of a second, and all having to hit that one little spot on turns 1, 2, 3, and 4 in an oval, and all be, again, within the margins of a second. It's still pretty phenomenal that they can hit those marks on an oval. I'm not saying ovals are not important, but when it comes to open wheel race cars, they're not that important. Open wheel, the majority of those races are on road courses, street courses, and that's where the money is made. Okay, I understand the Indianapolis 500. We've created a monster here on this planet with the oval there at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But I would think Catalunya would be a tougher drive for any driver to race that track in Spain or Abu Dhabi. I know they're not running Catalunya now, but to run a road course, run and race a road course and do well on that road course is tougher to do at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway or at Charlotte or at Texas.
Okay. Maybe Charlotte, maybe Texas. Don't put Indy in there. Indy has different meteorologists standing on each corner. I mean, there are 4 different weather zones in the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's just wickedly different. And the short chutes on the north end and the south end, those are different. So it's almost like it's you can barely call it an oval. I mean, it's flat when it comes. I mean, we're not talking banking on this particular oval, but how different each of the 4 turns are and how different the 2 short chutes are. You nailed it when you said monster. It's a monster in and of itself.
Can I go to Sean here on YouTube real quick? Sean says, what a joke. He has not won in an oval. He should run the Daytona 500 and we'll see how great he is, talking about Alex Palou. That's how easy IndyCar is.
Oh,
Sean,
really?
here's what I would tell you. Go ask Jimmy Johnson about that.
Right.
One of the greatest of all time. He goes to IndyCar and couldn't get a top 15 finish to save his life.
Here's the deal. And before the fan bases get all mad at each other, IndyCar's better, NASCAR's better. Well, this one's too easy. That one's too easy. No. The bottom line is it's apples to oranges. It truly, truly is. Each one of them is basically a spec series right now. All the cars in NASCAR are so damn similar. All the cars in IndyCar are so damn similar. But think about that. A technical spec series and you're having dominant performances, that tells you that the cream of your driver crop is out of the stratosphere. It's just what we're watching in both series is phenomenal. Now, again, let me get back to the apples versus oranges. You have champions from IndyCar that went over to NASCAR and just completely sucked. Dario Franchitti being one of them, Sam Hornish being one of them. And then you have championship guys from NASCAR that go over to IndyCar and for the most part suck. Jimmy Johnson. So no, we can't really truly make the comparisons because of how different these cars drive. A NASCAR is going to get so loose and IndyCar is going to be tight more often than not. And IndyCar doesn't have freaking power steering. You take those arms and go into NASCAR and you're like, whoa.
Got a break, Crasher.
All right. Anyway, I'm off my soapbox.
Good. I still haven't convinced myself who's a better damn driver. I'm not going to do it now. I can't do it.
Find out in 2 weeks, the Indianapolis 500 when they go head-to-head.
Hey,
with your NASCAR
Harrison
points leader.
Burton. Full speed. Next. SpeedFreaks Pittsburgh Studios.